Hello, welcome back to the NPG Trio reviews. Once again, I'm here with Mr. Nightchild and Mr. Purple Music. And this week, we were due to bring you the NPG gig review, full review from last week at the Indigo. But there's been so many things happening in the last couple of weeks in the Prince community that we kind of felt we needed to have a rant and a conversation to get these issues out there. Issues to do with the legacy recordings deal, takedowns going on all over social media. It's so inconsistent, things being sold for extortionate prices, a whole debacle with the Nothing Compares to You t-shirts and what's been happening there. So we're going to have a good old rant. This is Mr. Rant's World of Prince today. And I think I'm going to start this off by saying, I don't know, you guys go. Who wants to rant first? Who wants to rant first?
I think Graham does.
I think Graham wants to rant first. We're going to let Mr. Purple Music rant first.
Wow, thank you for that setup. Hello, guys, and thank you for listening. This is a really important video that we're doing here and something that all three of us feel very passionate about. There's part of me that thinks that anything that we do say is going to be irrelevant because whether we're pragmatic about it or whether we have a commercial head on about it, I do feel like Sony Music and the estate are going to just do what they want to anyway. I think they have they're completely fixed on their mindset, and the more that we become entrenched in what's happening over the next few years, I think they're so single-minded they're not going to listen. But hopefully, we've got some passion and some knowledge, and we feel very strongly about how this is going. So hopefully people will listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just this week myself, I can speak personally, my channel, I've had 6 videos taken down in less than 10 days due to copyright issues, which has been extremely frustrating. Some of those videos took a long time to create, and they weren't money making. They were just done out of pure love to share my love and appreciation of Prince. And they take it down, but then on another channel, a whole album is being played or a whole track, and it's so inconsistent. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, Jay, what do you speak about some of these issues?
I think I was trying to get this all together in my mind, and there was actually a great thread by Miss TLC on Twitter, who said a lot of things I agree with, in the sense that these clips, these tributes are promotions. If you're using 10, 15, 20 seconds of a song, this means the person's interested, in a song. They've got a little sample of the song, they want to go on and they want to buy the song. This is something that the actual record company should be encouraging, not cracking down on. At the end of the day, there's the casual fan who likes Prince, wants the hits. They want Purple Rain. They've got those. Purple Rain Deluxe is out. They're there. We've got the hardcore, the kind of remaining fans. And I think it's such bad business because basically by reaching out to these people in the Prince community, they have access to the Prince fan base. They sort of spend time. They know them. They talk to them. And at the moment, I think Sony are actually damaging themselves, because they're taking down these little, and it's very inconsistent. There are full albums up on, and then they're doing anything about it. 10, 15-second clips are getting taken down. They took down the Purple Rain tribute when people went to First Avenue singing, they just
shocking, Jay.
Lost Prince. Yeah. And then you look on eBay, we're talking, bootlegs being sold for thousands of pounds, nothing's being done. People making some serious amounts of money from these. And yet, if you talk about Prince, why they can't just reach out to certain channels and say, look, we're happy for you to use 10, 20 seconds of a Prince track. If you could just please put a link in the bottom to the official site or where you can buy the albums. Bearing in mind, I'll add the caveat that obviously there's still a lot of albums which you cannot actually buy, which doesn't help the situation. But I think Sony are actually, I know they're about obviously purely the money, but I think it's just bad business purely from that. In the sense, you've got people who are doing this passionately for free. They can reach fans that Sony cannot reach.
Yes.
And I think,
Can I just say something? So I did some research on the last 3 or 4 albums that were released by Prince post and pre-death. And Artificial Age, as an album, sold 66,000 units.
That's right. Yeah, shocking. Shocking.
Forever sold 100,000 units. The Purple Rain Deluxe Edition sold 50 to 60,000 units. It's difficult to get an understanding of how much they sold because you've got streaming services. But as an overall, you've got his last 2 albums that he produced or had a finger in, selling about 60,000 units. Now, after his death, he sold 7.7 million records.
Jeez.
And the Forever album sold 100,000 units, nearly double what Purple Rain and Artificial Age sold.
Yeah.
So my point is to the estate and to the record companies is people like U2, not the band, U2, people like U2 who are celebrating and putting together videos of his work using clips and talking about the work. We are the mainstay of those 50,000 people who are buying those records.
Absolutely.
And in order to grow that fan base and reach out to new people, we need your help to do that. And you only have to look at the comments that have come on some of your really good quality videos for people who have never heard certain tracks.
Yeah.
I didn't know this existed. I didn't know that existed. We're opening up a whole new world to people who only knew Prince's Purple Rain.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the real key to all of this, and why the 3 of us are so upset by what's currently happening, by this completely fixed mindset, by taking down videos where they believe they're missing out, where they should be embracing it and then growing that fan base. And those numbers of 66,000 and 50,000 are pittance. It's very, very poor in terms of the bigger scheme of things when you've got Ed Sheeran selling 3 or 4 million records, and you've got somebody with this amount of catalogue and this amount of music available to them, and it's so short-sighted.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'd say on that point, you know, what you were just saying about people commenting on my videos, especially the Letter X on the A to Z videos. You know, I had so many people say, I've never heard Expectation. I didn't know the album existed. And then go say, I want to buy it now. I want to go and get it. You know, we're doing the work for them. We're bringing in the people with these videos. There's so much music that they don't know about, that a lot of people don't know about, never heard. And they're learning on it from our channels and people like, you know, like us doing this. And so reach out, work with us. Don't you know, fight us and take us down and think that we're stealing your sweets. You know, it's just ridiculous.
We are not after it. We're not doing this for a financial gain. We have no ulterior motive, Paisley Park. We have no ulterior motive, Sony Music. We are not doing this to make money. No, we are doing this because we want to keep the legacy alive, and we want to bring a new generation of fans to Prince who only know him for Purple Rain.
Yes, and I just say, sorry, go on.
No, please. And so by allowing you to do your A to Z, and by allowing Jay to do his videos, and there are many other really good quality YouTube channels out there, allowing us to do this makes up for the really crap decisions that are being made by the estate, releasing ropey CDs of demos, and have the audacity to name it Piano and a Microphone, when it's a 1983 demo that's really, really poor, and all you're doing from that is a money-making exercise. And we're not doing it for that. We're doing it to reach out to a whole new level. And we feel helpless. And it's about time that you kind of embraced it and saw it for what it is.
Yes, and I think, you know, because Jay said on a video he did about this subject, you know, that, you know, we are the best well-oiled machine that any artist could want, you know, the Purple Army in this kind of thing. And also, I just want to say that also our generations as well, we have all this experience. We're the ones who went to the concerts. We're the ones who lived it. And when we're gone, who's going to know all these experiences? And through our videos and what we're talking about, by putting it out there saying, well, this is what it was like that night, and this is what he was like, and this is how I remember it. That's there for all time then, for other people to come to and to understand what it was, what it was like.
I think that's a really important point, because certainly when I first started out, the reason the actual reason I went onto YouTube was that obviously at the time Prince didn't allow his music on YouTube, and he was very much concerned with the artists weren't getting a fair share of the profit. So I went on YouTube because I know most people I talked to sort of in their 20s said, well, if I want to know about someone, I go on YouTube. He said Prince is on YouTube, so they didn't know about it. So I thought I wanted people to at least have a gateway to say, well, okay, there's this artist out there. Here's some idea, you know, some knowledge about his back catalogue and to really look into that. And I think that that started off basically as just a way to promote that. Now I think it's different now because obviously Prince is gone. There was obviously the family, then it's gone now to companies, and it's so fragmented. I think first of all, it doesn't help having everybody in the world involved. We've got Warner's, we've got Sony, we've got Universal, we've got Tidal, we've got other people claiming rights to all the bootlegs actually on YouTube saying, oh, I own the copyrights to this bootleg, I own the copyrights to this bootleg. Now how that works, I don't know. eBay is just off the charts with people making
rubbish.
I mean, it's amazing, and nothing seems to be done about that. And I think, you know, you've got all these people, so there's no overall plan. And unfortunately, there's no one who can say this is what's going to happen over the next year.
Stop reading my notes.
And the next
what do you mean yours?
I mean, I think we had this discussion probably a best part of a year ago when we said, you know, first of all, get every album out there, everyone that's public, just as a basic. This can be done.
Get it out there.
No offense, but this shouldn't take a week. It really shouldn't. I mean, a week to get it online thingy and a month to get it all in physical form. This really shouldn't.
The Tidal thing happened overnight, where he did the agreement with Tidal, and within a matter of 12 hours, every album, bar a few exceptions, was available to the mass market.
Exactly.
I genuinely believe that Warner Brothers are pretty helpless in all of this now. I think Warner Brothers are out of the equation.
The one thing I would say about Warner is, slightly to interrupt, in a slight defense, I think you're right. I think in a sense, by putting those videos on the official channel, they're probably done slightly more in the sense of they've tried a bit to get some albums out. But like you say, I don't think they're not the big player.
Not anymore, and they're not. No, I think with the Sony agreement and with the estate, I think Warner Brothers are pretty helpless, which is difficult for us to comprehend when Warner Brothers have been such a huge part of Prince, and he fought so hard against them. But actually, we need them to drive this thing forward. But looking at it from an outside point of view, I think they're pretty helpless. They don't own the masters anymore. He fought that back. I'm sure of that, and people will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think they're pretty helpless. I think we have to now turn our attention to the estate and to Sony to say, get your house in order. Yeah, and you're right, Jay. You're bang on the money, Jay. There should have been a plan. We want transparency. We want a schedule. We want a release schedule. They must have a plan in place, as Jay said. They must have a plan when they're going to release this stuff. The plan was to do 95 to 2017. And then there was a plan then to go back and do 78 to 96. Right. And that would encapsulate everything that he ever did. But we're now 18 months, 2 years on, and we've not heard anything. It's just a bit of an embarrassment. And I get it's uncharted territory. We've never had anyone like this before. We've had the Beatles, etc., etc. But they've always been alive to control it. This is uncharted territory where the man has gone, but we've got this vault, and no one's ever had a vault.
No.
So it is uncharted territory, but you've got record companies that have been doing this for a long time, and they should have their house in order.
Well, that's a really good point, because even something as basic, I mean, even the Nothing Compares to You, it seems strange. You have the Nothing Compares to You, it comes out. Now, obviously, you can have the discussion about the video obviously being of something else and sort of the track over it. But even then, even like I say, with the T-shirt and stuff like that, there's people who have done this for years and experts. Every person on eBay can do it. Everybody on Amazon can do it. And it's taken, you know, it got delayed 2 months, 3 months. Then suddenly you got to pay 15 quid in customs charges. And then, you know, these things really, in a retail sense, there must be experts you can go to and say, look, this is what we want to do. Make this happen. This isn't difficult. We said, even if it's a case of shipping, you know, a container lorry over to the UK and just saying, look, we're going to distribute it in the UK. You order it, you'll have it within 48 hours. I can order something from Amazon and have it the next day. Yeah. And we're saying April, here's Nothing Compares to You by Prince. If you want it with a T-shirt, it might be June, July. Well, it turned out to be August.
Middle of August, yeah.
And then suddenly, you got another £15 because we didn't see the customs charge coming. Now, the average eBay seller can see. It's not a criticism of the thing. It's just that they can go to experts and they can get this sorted out. And we need. I think it just.
I mean, for God's sake, we were saying, but Prince was doing it himself, peer to peer, for God's sake, cutting out the middleman, saying, "Here, who wants to stock it for me and then sell it on?"
We've had to wait 100 days, give or take, 100 days for a T-shirt. And to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed by the whole thing. I was very disappointed with the whole debacle with the T-shirt. It's not the best quality. The sizes are very weird. I saw somebody write on Twitter or Facebook they ordered 3 different T-shirts, all the same size, but actually all the sizes are different. So a medium in one style is not a medium in another. It's just embarrassing.
It is. And how much did you pay in total in the end? Everything.
It cost me £54 for a T-shirt.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, in terms of the whole body of work, like I said, we talked about Prince filming every live show. Practically everything he filmed, and a lot of it's high quality. Certainly Shepherd's Bush, the O2 shows, pretty much everything was filmed. The Diamonds and Pearl shows. There's enormous amounts, and yet, I mean, you could release a DVD, quite frankly, every week from now for the next 20 years, and it wouldn't be a problem. And yet, we've got nothing. I mean, in terms of official live DVDs, this is literally a case of surely the Vault. It's filmed, a bit of editing. This, I don't mean to be bad, but
the thing is, right, this is, what you're saying is very true, because it's like, this is the 21st century, for God's sake, okay? Paisley Park should have an online shop. You can buy all this stuff all around the world, no problem, 48 hours delivery, and the videos, what you're talking about as well, should be available to download and stream as well, or whatever,
When I was working for a record company around 2007, when the 21 Nights finished, there were rumours that there was going to be a box set for Christmas.
Wow.
Which I don't. This came from Warner Brothers. That was going to encapsulate all the best bits, along with a DVD and a book and a CD. Then you're appealing to the mass market, and you're not talking about 66,000 copies of AOA sold. You're talking about mass market. And Jay and I spoke about this on the way to the NPG gig at the Indigo, where if they'd have released that Shepherd's Bush gig several days after that night, you'd have had the 2,000 people who were at the gig wanting to own that.
Yes.
As a starter for 10.
Absolutely.
Let alone the thousands and thousands of Prince fans that were there. He's partly to blame for that, but you've now got the short-sightedness of the estate where you've got people who are in charge of it who appear from the outside to not know what they're doing, both from a commercial sense and from an emotional sense. And it's just a real shame that they've not got their house in order and got some of this stuff out now, because I think you've alienated the Purple Army. I think you've alienated.
Yes, they are definitely. Yeah,
and we're being drip fed crap. I keep reverting back to the piano and microphone tour. Releasing that after 2016 would have been a perfect way to celebrate his life. The 2 shows from Paisley Park, get it out. But no, we're having to wait 2 years later, and we're getting some crappy demo from 1983. I think it's embarrassing.
I think you're right. It's kind of weird, because on one hand, it's weird because this comes from a place of positivity. It sounds a weird thing to say. This comes from a positive place in the sense of we want the material out there. We want new people to come into Prince. We want people to be able to go and buy. And do you know what? I want this for the official estate. I want people to say, I can buy an official live DVD. I can choose from the 25 official live DVDs in my local HMV. I can download or pay for every album, and the money goes to the estate. Everything's on YouTube, but any royalties, go straight to the estate. Yeah. And I think it's bizarre. I mean, like I say, especially, and also to lay off, I think, in a sense, the people who are, I'm not talking about people uploading full albums. I'm talking about people using a few clips to talk about it, which quite frankly, I think most of the time falls within fair use. And I think Sony they lost heavy and they lost slowly with the Dancing Baby case. And I don't think they really want to go through that again, because the lessons clearly have not been learnt for that.
Correct.
At the end of the day, just if you want to if you want to say to the channel, reach out and say, look, great what you do, we'll leave you alone, but can you just put a little bit in the comments saying, here's the official shop or here's the online. That's fine, no problem. But at the end of the day, there's so much that could be done. This comes to a positive place. We want people to be able to, experience all those albums and to get this. This comes to a place of love. If we sort of just said, we could just say, you know what, we've got what we want. We'll just walk away.
Yeah,
it's fine. But we actually want, the next generation to enjoy the music. We want other people to be able to.
Absolutely.
I don't want. I get the amount of messages I get from people saying, "I really like One Night Alone. Where can I buy it? I want to buy Emancipation. Can I buy it?" And you know what? We have people, tens of thousands of people, up to I think over 100,000 probably, who have cash, who want to buy products from the official estate, and they cannot buy them. And all the Sony are doing is saying, we're going to take down this tweet, we're going to take down this video, we're going to do that. We're not going to provide you with those albums. We're not going to publish them and put them out there, which quite frankly, digitally, there's no excuse for every single Prince album should be out digitally and a whole lot more and videos as well. At the end of the day, there's people who want to give. Do you even basic stuff? Like,
but the thing is,
NPG hats.
Yes.
We had. You want to buy?
Why do you have to bring that
up? You want to buy?
There's a backstory, folks.
you want to buy an MPG hat, and you're Graham, and somebody's bought the last MPG hat. I don't know who that was. And you can't buy it. There should be a fully stocked shop online where you can say, I can buy a Prince item and I'll get it delivered the next day. And I want to give money to the state. We want to support the estate. I want to make clear that this really comes from a positive place. I know it sounds like Grant. I don't feel, I don't want to be seen as like a negative thing. This is a positive thing, that we want a situation where the fans benefit by getting all the material, the estate benefit by getting the money, and people who are spreading the word for free to try and really spread the word of Prince are kind of supported by Sony. It takes Sony a tweet to reach out to us. It takes them a message. It costs them nothing, and it'll gain them a lot.
Are they that short-sighted that they don't believe that file sharing's going on? Are they that stupid?
I mean, come on,
So you've got people who are coming up to us who are going, "We love what you do, guys. Can we have a listen to the Gold Experience? We know it's out of press." And are they that stupid that they're then going to go, "Oh, but then they're probably going to file share it"? Stop file sharing and get some revenue from it by releasing the product.
Exactly.
That's just common sense. We're not talking about
absolutely.
We're not talking about an overhead of pressing thousands of CDs. Just make it available digital. No one buys physical CDs anymore. No. The only CDs people buy for physical products are ones that go and sit in your car, like Now 99 and Now 100. People don't buy albums like that anymore. They're buying it digitally to get a taster for the product, and then they move into the physical product later on. And that time will come if Sony get their acting gear. But I've had so many people approach me going, "How do I get MPG Exodus? How do I get Gold Nigger? How do I get the Gold Experience?" And I'm having to give this product to them illegally. When we used to tape the charts off the radio using our cassettes, that wasn't legal, but it was still accepted as a means to an end. Because by recording the charts, you then got into an artist and then bought their product. So that's the point.
They wouldn't sell blank tapes.
Drip feeding you our videos with little clippets of Montreux or little clippets of 21 Nights. You're opening up a whole new world to people who only know Prince for Purple Rain. You've got to start looking at that.
Absolutely. God, no, I just want to say, like what Jay was saying, just work with the people out here, work with us, work with the channels. As you say, we'll bring the people in, drop a link on our videos. We'll send you to you to buy it, because people are asking, like you just said, they want the albums, they want the music, they're learning about it from our videos, and stop taking us down. And again, this isn't about, I'm not complaining about poor me, poor my channel, poor my videos are taken down. Yes, it's annoying and frustrating, but it's just, as I say, so I'm not trying to gain financially. I'm trying to share my love of Prince. I'm trying to get it out there. I want everyone to, learn about his legacy, and and it's just such a simple way to do it. It's perfect. Everyone wins. They win, we win. We're allowed to continue. They're getting the money for it. Everyone's there. The legacy is shared and continued. It's so simple.
And you made a really good point about the fact that what happens when we're gone. So if you look at all the people who are Prince fans who we've all met through concerts and videos and celebrations and whatever, we're all very similar in age.
Yes,
we all came
yes.
to Prince around 88, 89, 90. That new generation have to get it from us because
Yes.
they're not going to get it from anywhere else. So I'm worried that they may miss the boat.
Mm.
If
they
you
need to get on the boat.
I knew he was going to say that.
There is an opportunity. No, sorry. There is a situation here where they may miss the boat.
Yeah.
And by releasing Prince material in 10 years' time, you've missed the opportunity. And I am nervous about that it's just not, because the music industry has changed so much. That it's disposable music now. Yeah. There is nothing to leave in your will, and so people will just have disposable iPods that just capture the latest moment, and they won't listen to records as a complete album. Yeah. And you need us to carry that legacy forward.
Absolutely.
I think that's a really good point. I think even with it's just, some of it's so random. I mean, for example, Sony, there's some emancipation videos online. Somebody's put up basically the Emancipation album, split it into tracks. They've taken down the first song, not the second. Then they've taken down some later songs. It's just I mean, the fact that Ant will talk about Purple Rain, Prince's biggest known song, not on his official channel. I mean, and that's got 78 million views. Now, I know it's not all the money in the world. I know there's arguments about streaming, but 78 million views gets you roughly about £78,000, which is best part of 100 grand. That's 100 grand. Fine. If they'd have taken that and got that on the channel, that's 100 grand. I know, we're talking bigger figures, but that's one video, 100 grand.
But there's no consistency, though, because you look on the playlists that they've uploaded on the YouTube channel, and Let's Go Crazy's on one video. Then you go to Forever or the Ultimate Collection, where they've got a video discography, and Let's Go Crazy's not being listed as part of that because they obviously haven't thought it through correctly. It's just the attention to detail is staggering.
Well, the playlist is another thing, because like you say, they've listed the playlist and they've included lots of bootlegs. There's Small Club, there's lots of other bootlegs.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Included in their playlist. Now, is this something, I don't know if it's something YouTube will done, but you go to the official site and it's listed and there's all the bootlegs there. Now, if I didn't know much about Prince, I'd go there and think, oh, okay, well, this is official channel. Obviously I can just, this is fine. This is all going to the state, but it's not. I mean, it's ridiculous because this money, you're right. We need to seize the moment because we can't wait another 5 or 6 years. We really can't. We need to have a plan. We need to get the music out there as quickly as possible. Then we've got to get as many people interested, as possible to start that. It only takes one song, it only takes one video for them to really get into it. Most companies would absolutely have to pay a fortune to get a whole load of people passionate about it, to talk about it for free and say, I love your product. Here's a sample of your product. This product's brilliant. It's fantastic. This could change your life. This could encapsulate every emotion. And yet we don't fight the fans. It's just a bizarre thing to do. If you embrace that, you've got an army working for you who, quite frankly, can reach more people than you'll ever dream of.
Absolutely.
And the point about releasing videos is even more poignant because new fans won't have the opportunity to go and see him live.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which then snowballs the effect even more. And I'm talking from personal experience, having seen him live, the thirst for going to find more things, whether it be official or unofficial releases, just takes you on a different track. New fans won't have that, so the videos are even more poignant.
That is a very good point.
Why they haven't brought out Montreux is staggering.
That drives me spare because you make such a
decision ever.
It exactly shows you that the people who are in control have no idea about Prince's work and his career and his legacy. They have no idea.
Those 5 shows alone, the three from 2013, the 2 from 2009, are probably his 5 best diverse gigs he's ever done, and showcase him in an amazing way. They're out there because we all own them in Blu-ray quality, for Christ's sake.
Absolutely,
you're making such a good point because first of all, it shows a different side to Prince, the band leader, the showman. I mean, the first Montreux in 2013, he's not playing a guitar. He's just leading the band, and you see a different side of him. B, like you say, they are in perfect DVD quality now. It would take, no offense, Mr. Ant's half an hour to basically put this, get this ready for release. It's ridiculous. But
that's the problem I've got with this, is that you've got people on eBay who are selling that for hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and there are websites out there that I'm not going to mention because they're obviously doing it for the right reason. I don't think they're doing it to make money. Maybe I'm being a bit naive about that, but I certainly feel that the people who are bringing lots of different releases out on Silverline or whatever are doing it for the right reasons. And if they can do it and not be stopped, why are you getting taken down for showing a 30-second clip of a video that doesn't even exist commercially?
This is what really annoys me, because the strange thing is, you say about that, the people who are making fortunes about this, and some of them, like say eBay and various places, are charging substantial money. No action. That's fine, apparently, but other people, who are putting videos on Facebook or tweets, that's becoming, unacceptable. It seems very strange, and also it seems strange to say this proves to me a big trick they're missing. There is, as a statement of fact, a huge demand for Prince, work, Prince live recording. There's a huge demand. The bootleggers actually prove that demand. They prove people want the product.
Absolutely, yes.
If they're selling it on eBay, then why didn't he say something?
I did a thing with some badges recently, and I did the right thing. I didn't just produce them. I sent an email to Paisley Park. I sent an email to Fifth Avenue, telling them what I wanted to do, put together a badge with some help of somebody else. And I emailed out to a list of people saying, I've got this Fifth Avenue Star badge available if you're interested to celebrate it and wear it on your lapel with pride. Sold 300 or 400 of those badges.
Wow.
I gave all of that money away to charity. Because I'm not about, I gave it all to cancer research. Brilliant. I'm not about making money out of it, because all I wanted to do was do something that the estate aren't doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Seizing the moment.
Yeah.
And just giving everybody a feel-good factor.
Yeah.
And that's not what we've had since his passing.
That's such an impressive thing, and I think that's passing on. I think that's one of those things where I've seen that in the Prince community. The amount of times I've been, I won't embarrass Graham, but I've been given things, and it's just meant absolute world to me, and as well. And it just, I know we sort of. Whether it's tickets, whether it's merchandising, you just want to spread the word. You just want to introduce somebody to Prince. There's nothing better than somebody coming to you and saying, where do I start, or what's this track from, and where do I get it? Because most people assume, you just go to wherever whatever official, go to the official site, you'll get everything, but you won't. There's such a lot of people who want this. The amount of Facebook groups alone, the interest is there, but you say, the interest is there now. We don't want it to wane. We want it to be heightened. And there's, in terms of, I don't think personally, his live performances have been done any justice by the amount of DVDs. No. It's been tiny. Quite frankly, you could do several DVDs per tour, but there is whole vast of Prince's career where there's no official DVD exists. I mean, you probably go, you go to Purple Rain, you go to Love Sexy, probably Diamonds and Pearls is like clips. It's not even like the full concert. And you've got Live in Aladdin, Rave, but you haven't got No O2, the Montreux. Like I say, you could release the Montreux tomorrow. And do you know what? The amount of people who've got that, and the amount of money you could have made, if you could have sold that, quite frankly, for like $9.99, and you could have made a fortune. And people would rave about it. And do you know what? The mainstream would pick it up, because then people like, I don't know, the Guardian or the Sun or any newspaper will review it because it's officially released, and they go, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
It only needs Q or Mojo to get behind it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Give that a good review. Front page, Montreux release. 10 years time. What are we? 2019.
Next year.
10-year anniversary. Just. It's so short-sighted. Look behind you, Joe. You've got two posters on the wall, Love Sexy. We've been subjected to a Dortmund video for the last 30 years. How many other gigs out there have we never even seen the light of day of Love Sexy? His most elaborate gig of all time.
Like, you look at Shepherd's Bush, and that was filmed, and we saw that nobody did the little clip of Chaos and Disorder.
Oh, that's amazing.
But the quality of that video,
amazing. Yeah.
And every night I went there was a guy filming from 2 foot away from Prince. Now, these exist. These tapes are out there, and they're rummaging about. I don't mean this in a bad way, but the piano microphone tour, the piano microphone release that they're actually doing, like I say, I think it's an inappropriate name, but that is a track most Prince fans have already had for a long time.
Yes.
And you think, just get the product out there. You've got people who want to buy the product. And I know Sony say, well, this is business, but you're doing bad business.
Yes.
You're wasting. You're letting the bootleggers have a field.
It's a money-making exercise, that Ropey DVD. I spoke about it several times now. They're going to package it in a digipack with a booklet, but it's only going to appeal to the real die-hard fans. And if Artificial Age only sold 66,000 copies, are you telling me they're expecting that to sell more than that?
No, they've got no idea. I don't think
they've got no idea.
They don't. I really don't think they understand how you know what happened to Prince commercially after the fight with Warner's, and say after the Most Beautiful Girl in the World would probably be his last biggest hit. Yeah. After that, the sales plummeted, but Prince didn't care. He wasn't interested. He wasn't on that boat anymore. I've done all that. I don't care anymore. But as you say, things like Chaos and Disorder, sold like 300,000 copies, wasn't it, or something, or less? I can't remember.
If that,
less than that. So or was it 150,000? I can't remember. And I know it was a shocking amount. So
I remember I was working for a well-known grocer in their record department, and we were doing a deal, and I haven't spoken about this before, actually, but
you heard it here first, folks.
Prince's people contacted Tesco,
right?
Wanting to do a deal with the Lotus Flower Project.
Wow!
It was a 3 CD set, as we all know, and they approached Tesco wanting to do a deal, whereas they were going to give exclusivity to Tesco in the UK as a distributor.
Wow.
But they wanted Tesco to buy 10,000 units up front with no return. And Tesco said no, because that was the level he was at.
There you go. Yeah.
So we turned it down. We turned it down, much to my pain. We turned it down. But I understood it from a commercial point of view. He's been in the wilderness for a few years, and to release a 3 CD set that was going to retail at 20 quid, and be exclusive to Tesco with little or no marketing, but it would obviously reach mass market because of the footfall they get and the amount of stores they had. It would go into 800 stores. But we turned it down because there was no deal in terms of sale or return. It was 10,000 units, take it or leave it.
I think a lot of retailers. I think a lot of retailers still were very not burnt, but they are certainly with Emancipation. I mean, we all saw Emancipation being in bargain bins for like £2.99, which is crazy.
And that's the problem you've got, is that just to go back at what you were saying, I digress slightly, but your point is he was in the wilderness after 95, 96.
Yes.
And so expectation levels of Prince were he's not going to sell 10,000 copies of a record.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just ridiculous.
It is. It is shocking. He should have been selling millions.
And Lotus Flower is probably, in my mind, one of these most impressive pieces of work. The production levels on that record are just off the scale. And there's a video coming soon, guys. But
plug.
I just think it's just an incredible record. But
I think
the way it was put together.
Yeah,
I think you're really, really right as well, because that's lots of albums that people miss out on because, like I say, he was in the wilderness. Certainly, the Gold Experience, people weren't hearing the hits, and then suddenly you've got albums like the Rainbow Children, like say Lotus Flower, which just flew under the radar, and people didn't know. A lot of people assume he had Most Beautiful Girl in the World. The next thing they heard was Musicology. Always what? And like you've got this missing kind of gap of about 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And the strange thing is that also, I can see why Prince did these deals with newspapers where they'd say, look, we'll give you 300 grand cash.
Very clever.
Up front, guaranteed, here you go, this is fine. We'll sell a lot more papers, so we're fine. We're going to make out on that day. You get your thing, your project into the hands of 300,000 people. But I could see why he did that, because it was just one deal, no messing about.
Exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, he tried everything. I mean, like I say, with the O2 shows, obviously giving
having it with a ticket, to
everybody. Anybody walking by got Planet Earth. Anybody near it. And that's he was very innovative in that. The trouble is, he almost paid the price of being ahead of his time, because he's the pioneer who had to do that. Other people come behind and said, "Oh, I'll take that bit of what he did. I'll use that bit," and they've kind of reaped the success from that. But he had the risk. And I've said this on Twitter, that there are two artists, I think, types of artists generally in the world. There are those that don't have the power, so can't do these innovative things. They don't have the power or the profile. And those people that have the profile, the artists, don't tend to want to rock the boat. They don't want to lose their power and their status. And Prince actually got the point. He said, "I'm prepared to basically walk away from commercial success. I'm going to do this because I want a fair share, and I want to change the record industry for something." You know, he didn't have to do that. Prince could have said, "You know, I'm going to do what Warner Brothers say. I'm going to do an album a year. I'm going to go on tour. I'm going to do a video like Diamonds and Pearls to prove I could sell 5 million. I'm going to do that." But you know, he wanted to make.
They couldn't keep up with his output, I guess.
No, they couldn't. No.
Do you believe the record industry would be? Do you believe the record industry would be like it is now if it hadn't been for Prince? And I'm not saying that he influenced the way we now buy music, but he certainly, by being the way he was 20 years ago, has changed the way we buy records.
I personally think a lot of artists, a lot of artists actually benefited directly. I mean, not just...
That's what I meant, yeah.
I mean, like you think of Ida Nelson, I think Ingrid Chavez and other artists as well, by selling that music directly to the fans. I actually think a lot of artists have really embraced that. And I think a lot of artists, Andy Allo to an extent, certainly, and she connects well with fans and lots of artists, but I think even wider, have thought, you know what, I'm gonna do Prince. I'm not gonna go through the record company. I'm gonna control my own product. I'm gonna get these printed. I'm gonna do peer-to-peer. And I think that there's certainly the Purple Vision, who are a new organisation. They're sort of very much trying to go down that way of getting artists a fair share and distributing and directly to fans. And the technology makes this possible. You can get it directly to fans. And you know, it's so frustrating because the estate have all this money going off to other people, to unofficial sources and whatever. All this money they could easily make by just supplying the product we all want. And it's so frustrating because that could, you know, bolster their position, meaning they can release more and more. But what terrifies me actually is that the casual listener said, "Yeah, well, I bought the hits. I want the Purple Rain Deluxe. I've got that." After that, the casual listener, what do they want next? Purple Rain is the high point as far as
of course.
Yeah.
So anything after that is going to be less. They're going to assume.
Exactly. Are Sony really sitting there thinking, "Yeah, I'm sure they're going to queue out the door when we release Kama Sutra"? You know.
Well, exactly. Yeah. If you sold 100,000 copies of Forever, you'll be lucky if you sell a fifth of that.
Yes.
Of Kama Sutra Special Edition.
Well, you think of those albums like Slaughterhouse, like C Note.
Yes. Exactly.
You think of, and the thing is, if you had a official site, you can buy them and say, "I want to buy them," because a lot of people say, "Well, I want to buy that," or "I had that CD and I can't get it anymore," or "I can download it." And you know what? People want. I think, given the choice, people would flock to the official site. A lot of people would flock to the official site and they would buy these things. I think first of all, they need to. All these companies need to get their heads together and say, "We're going to have one site. It's going to have everything we've got on that site, every album, every DVD, every
physical and digital."
Yes,
in one place.
All of them working together.
Because I don't care who gets their, in a sense, I don't care if you buy it in one site. Yeah, okay. If it's a Warner's product, the cut goes to Warner's. If it's a Sony product, the cut goes to whatever. Have it in one site, one-stop shop. If it's not on that site, it's not official. This is the official site. This is where everything is. And then
I was very disappointed by the websites that they issued on the celebration. We had that announcement that something big was going to happen, and we got Nothing Compares to You. But we also got the annotated website, the Hit and Run website, and Prince to Me. Now, come on. They could have done what you just said, Jay, and released an NPG Music Club video website where you could go on and cherry pick the things you wanted, download the videos that you wanted, download the albums that you wanted, whether you wanted them physically or digitally. There was the opportunity.
And do you know what? You could even do it as a club. You could even say, look, if you join up, you're going to get certain things. Like you'll get perhaps a few days early, perhaps you'll get special things. And if you join up and pay a bit of a fee, just a small fee to begin with, we're going to give you this DVD for free. We're going to give you a thing for joining, and we want you to become a value customer, not just buying this next project we got, not this one record. We want you to kind of join us and say, we will have you buy the stuff you want, and we'll give you this free item or whatever.
Because they've then got you, haven't they? They've then got the audience. If they charge you up front, they now know the volume and what levels they need to produce. If they get 10,000 people subscribe, they know how many CDs to produce. It's a bit like how certain retailers have their club cards. They know what you're buying in store.
Exactly.
They know how many people are going into those stores, and by getting the subscription up front, even if it's just on a registration point of view with no value, they understand the volumes that are required, and then the overheads can be controlled.
That's a really important point, because I think that's the point. If you engage with it, and also then you're engaging with the fans, and you know what, you could say, look, we're considering the next project, and we're going to put a list of projects on the website. Vote for the one you want. Right, this is one this month. We're making that. Next month that's going to be out. Right, what do you want after that? A retailer, its basic job is to supply what people want, and if they can't know exactly what people want without communicating with the people and saying the fans are saying, well, what do you want? Well, if you join that community, we can let you know what we want, and we can buy it, and then you can build another thing. We can buy it.
And also, you ask a lot of Prince fans, and a lot of people always ask for an MPG Music Club again. It comes up a lot. That's something that a lot of people would desire and would like.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea to kind of bring something back in a similar vein, where you could share that with the people who go, oh, Anne, I really love the Gold Experience. How do I get a copy of that? Well, funny you should ask, but rather than me send it to you illegally, I'll send you a link where you can go and buy it.
And do you know what? Some people do that. We were talking about Amazon, where they have sites where you send a link, and it gives that communication. But you can go to that website and say, look, this is all the albums. Great. Live DVDs, we're producing them. That's no problem. We can produce them instantly. Here's all the clothing if you want to buy the clothing. Do you know what? They could also sell, calendars. They could sell whatever.
Yeah, I mean, why isn't all that merchandise?
Why does it stop? Yeah.
And all you got to do is sort out overseas shipping. They always seem to think that all Princess fans are in America. Huge fans in UK, huge fans in Holland, in Germany.
Again, Jay, that's another aspect where they've got it totally wrong, and they don't know anything about Prince, because they should know that he was most popular in Europe, especially in the UK. And for years, he ignored the USA. He wouldn't tour there. They should know that. And yet they're focusing on America. Sod you lot over in Europe.
The music industry in America is shot to bits, dominated by reality programs, a bit similar to the X Factor over here. But the music industry is dominated by UK artists.
And this is the thing, though. This is not difficult, because either if they don't know how to do it, all you got to do is talk to an expert or a consultant who's done it before and say, look, we want to do what you're doing. How do we do this? How do we sort out overseas shipping? This shouldn't take long. The average guy can do it on eBay.
Yeah, well, we were. God, sorry, Jay. I'll just say we were speaking earlier, weren't we? Some of this is being run by the people who run the Elvis Presley estate, the same company. They've got years of experience, so they should know better. I mean, I'd love to know if anyone's watching this who's an Elvis fan. Is this what it is like for you?
Well, to be fair, can you think of an estate which has, Elvis should have more experience really than anyone. Their estate's been going for some time now. They really should.
They should know better, shouldn't they? They've got years of experience. They know. They run Graceland. So what's the deal there?
I don't know a huge thing, but I know there are a lot of Elvis products now. Assuming a large amount of them are official, they probably think. I think ultimately, if the estate don't fill the gap, sadly, other people will.
Yeah.
Half of the Elvis products were being sold at the Prince exhibition.
I was just going to say that. Second time round when I went, there was more Elvis than there was Prince.
That was very. I found that distasteful.
It was insulting,
poorly executed, and it was really badly thought of. So that could have been your first time to that Prince exhibition.
Yeah.
Almost only halfway through, and you're going there as a first time to embrace it. And you walk into the gift shop, and it was jam packed with Elvis stuff. I mean, that is a disgrace.
Come on. It is a disgrace. It shouldn't have been allowed.
It does sound me mad, and I know there's an argument. You don't want to make every product, and I think there's some products which you think, they're tacky or whatever. But I genuinely think if you have a website and you say, look, we're going to sell I don't know, whatever, a Prince phone case or a Prince key ring or whatever, and that money goes to the state, people want to buy the product.
They do.
It's either that they're going to buy it. Let's be honest. If you want a Prince keychain, you've got two options. You're going to go to the estate or a phone case or an album, and if you can't get it at the estate, you're going to go, I'm going to go on eBay. I'm going to buy up some guy who's making them. So
exactly, or someone who bought it from a celebration, or bought the Nothing Compares to You thing, and is now flogging it for 5 times as much money on eBay.
Well, that's Nothing Compares to You T-shirt that Graham got is already hitting a couple of £100 on eBay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you can understand
the fact that mine doesn't fit is going to mine's going to go on there as well. Yeah,
99p, folks. Grab
that
bargain.
Do you know what? Here we go,
looks a good deal now.
Should we have a competition and give it away? Yeah.
Give it away. Yeah.
Oh dear. I don't know. It's terrible, isn't it? I mean,
it's weird because I do want to say it's like say this comes from a place
Of
absolutely
positivity.
of love. I mean, if we didn't care, we would just say, do you know what? We'll forget it. We'll go on eBay. We'll buy the unofficial stuff. We'll have bootlegs. We won't bother. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be here. Because quite frankly, it's a lot easier for to say. I'm almost at the point. I said to Ant, well, I'm almost at the point in my mind where sadly I'm almost thinking anything we get is almost a bonus now because I don't expect. You know, and that's terrible. I want to be excited. I want to be excited. I want to think, what's the next? Oh, here's the plan. This is coming out. This is coming out. This is coming out. But it's you know.
As I said, I think I just go back. So I made one quick note that I think might be important. I don't know. I think Warner Brothers are pretty much out of the equation here. I think Sony are ruling the roost here. I think the estate are in it, but they don't know how to run a bath. And I think it will take somebody with some power to say you need to sort yourself out. And the only company who are doing this sort of thing that I think have got enough balls about them and power to sort it out is Spotify.
Right.
And there's some irony behind that because obviously he fought very hard not to be part of that, but they are the only streaming service that I think have got their act together that could say, we've listened to what you guys have said, and I think it's a pig's ear and you need to sort it out. And they are the only ones, when I was racking my brains before this video, thinking, who could challenge it? Apple Music, Tidal, whoever it might be. I think Spotify have enough about them. And they are quite a class act, don't get me wrong. I think they could really have an important part to play here in shaping the future of this, because it's clear to us that Paisley Park and the estate haven't got a clue. they haven't got a clue in terms of commerciality, but they also haven't got a clue in terms of embracing it from a fan's point of view. And I have to take emotion out of that. I'm base level. There is a missed opportunity here, guys, to get product out there for the people like us who want to buy it, but also for an opportunity for us to spread the love and spread the word.
Exactly.
And if they're not listening and they don't know what they're doing, then we're all in a real problem here.
I think if you put it all, if you have a situation, because some people want different, you know, they want to access in different ways. And if you went to the website and say, look, if you want to watch on YouTube, we're going to get paid for the advertising, the income. If you want to download it, pay this, we're getting money for the income. If you want to stream it through Spotify, here's a button on the website, straight to Spotify or whatever. We'll get some money. I mean, YouTube probably pays better than Spotify, I imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about, I think it's
volume, isn't it? It's volume on there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and ultimately, the more money, the better. You know, in terms of, you know, the more money coming into the thing. But give those people the options to say, look, you know, we're gonna ask the community, engage the community. What do you want? How? And you know, and then they can see that you're right, because they'll say, oh, look, people prefer to do this, or people prefer to have it this way, or some people prefer the physical project. And you know what? The other thing I'd say is if they make beautiful. We were talking about this earlier, had like packages. We're saying if you did like the Diamonds and Pearls, said here's a couple, you know, a live concert DVD of Diamonds and Pearls. Here's the CD. Here's possibly, you know, the beginnings. You know, put the beginnings in there. This is the beginnings, the Diamonds and Pearls beginnings. Here's a tour program. Here's a little, you know, extra. So put a little gift in there which you won't say anything about. Say, oh, we just made this specially to commemorate, you know, however many years, and we're just going to put this in. But you'll get it when you open it, and just put that all in a beautiful package in a box, something you actually physically want to own. Yeah. And you know what? I'd be quite happy to pay 50 quid for that. I'd be quite happy to pay if it's done well and it looked amazing. And you think, and it was all together, and they had like a T-shirt or something. You think, you know what?
Look how much those Michael Jackson picture discs are going for. They're reissuing all his albums on vinyl, and they're really stunning looking, and they're going for £70 each.
Wow.
HMV are selling them for 70 quid each. You had Guns N' Roses reissuing Appetite for Destruction recently, and that was sitting at £200 or £300 for the box set. So,
you know what? Even the one we had recently with The Time, I mean, you know,
that just puts all the stuff that Prince has released to shame.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an odd release as well. I mean, what does that? I mean, The Time. I mean, who's that come under? You know, was that under Prince's contract, part of Prince, because he was doing it all? So why has that been released?
Like I said, this is all Warner's. Yeah, well, it's marketed by Rhino. They manufactured and marketed by Rhino. They've obviously done a deal with Warner's, but you know, I mean, like I say, there's also people forget the resurgence of vinyl. The amount of people who want to buy stuff on vinyl.
But just talking on the touching on the Michael Jackson thing as well. There's so much Michael Jackson on YouTube. It's flooded.
Oh, is there really? I've never looked.
Yeah,
right.
whole concerts, whole tours, videos, music, everything, and that's all owned by Sony. They don't have a problem with that, do they? And it's been on there for ages. You know, you can watch the whole "This Is It" thing. You know, that was put together after he died. You know, it's everything.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, are they saying in that situation? Are Sony saying, "Oh, we'll monetize it"? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's the way forward, though, isn't it? Is if you two are going to use a clip, then they need to step up to the plate and say, look, if you're going to use it, we're going to monetize it and we're going to make money from it. Yeah. Then you'll be happy to do that because you realise money's being put back into the estate, but also you're allowed to have freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the problem here. So
you're going to know
monetize it.
Yeah, because otherwise sometimes you come to create a video and you put it up and then you're like that, you know, is it going to fly? Is it going to get copyrighted?
If you use stuff that's not out there, i.e. tracks that are unreleased and you've got hold of them through whatever means, then there's a different case.
Yes.
But if you're putting on something that's officially out there, then all you need to do, Sony, all you need to do, Paisley Park, is just monetize it and allow the videos to do the job of spreading the word.
Well,
there's no other reason than that.
If they just said it, all they'd have to do is a tweet or statement which costs 0 pence, nothing. Just look, anything under 30 seconds, we're perfectly happy with. We wanted to put a link, to whatever in the comments. Under 30 seconds, you're talking about our product, you're encouraging people to buy our product. That's fine. We will not touch you. We're happy. Under 30 seconds, you're promoting. No one is saying, "Oh, I really want to buy Exodus, but now I've heard 30 seconds. I don't need to." You're going to think, "I want more. I want more." So that's just a little taster. If you go to Amazon, you get Amazon with the albums. You get a little 30-second clip to say.
They should be using our channels as a conduit, you know.
Look, we're three guys who have come together through a mutual respect. We happen to tolerate each other's company when we're together, but we're all singing from the same hymn sheet here.
Yes,
and we're not experts. A couple of us have had some retail experience. A couple of us have got Prince knowledge, but we're not experts. But if the three of us can come together and come up with a plan. Simplify it. Come on, there's people out there who are like-minded. As you say, you've got Graceland, you've got Sony execs, you've got people at Warner Brothers, you've got people who are in the estate, have all got experience in this matter. Just sit down, get a plan together, have some transparency, and communicate with the fans, because ultimately they're the 55,000 people who are going to buy the record when it first releases.
Exactly.
If you don't do your job properly, you're never going to get the mass market that you're hoping to achieve and drive that fan base forward.
Exactly, because if we stop, because at the moment, as you said, they're alienating everybody and they're leaving a bad taste in the mouth with, this T-shirt debacle and all of that. So if they upset us enough, and then we stop buying it and stop introducing it to other people, what happens next?
Yeah. I might have to start listening to Ed Sheeran.
Oh God, no! I can't go there.
I think you make a really good point now about the communication, because if they came out and communicated with the fans and say, look, this is what we're intending to do. This is our plan. This costs them nothing to make a statement to say this is our position. The only time you hear from Sony is a takedown notice. That's what you hear. You don't hear, look, this is our plan. This is what we intend to do. This is what we really want to, they don't. It's just you hear a takedown notice and you think, well, you're punishing the very people who are trying to support you.
Be interesting to see what they do for Q4 in terms of Christmas coming up. And they've just obviously signed the deal to release the albums from 95 to 2017 or whatever it is they're going to do. It'd be interesting to see what they do for this Christmas, whether they do get their arse in gear.
Yeah, because talking on that deal, Graham, they said they were going to be released instantly, straight away. It was all coming out. What, like the next day? Or what does that mean? When? Because so far, ditto, nothing.
And we don't want any of this product. We've got all of this.
We own it.
We're wanting it for everybody else to go and enjoy. Exactly. This is not for. I mean, there are certain things that I would like to own physically that were never released, like One Night Alone, Slaughterhouse, stuff like that. I'd love those in a physical form to add to the collection. Because
totally agree. Yeah.
And still buy physical product.
Rave Into the fantastic. I mean, an album like Rave Into the remix. I mean, you try and get, if you go onto eBay, and either you'll get possibly one that isn't official, or you'll get one which is quite frankly going to cost you a serious amount of money. Now Why?
Why, why can't you not walk into a record store and we're talking about an artist who's recorded more albums than virtually anyone in history.
Yeah.
So that, it should be all there when you go in there.
Yeah.
All should be there instead of just 1999 diamonds and pearls. You might find Hit and Run if you're lucky.
Every time I go in for vinyl, it's basically 1999 Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Well, you're lucky to see that. I don't even. I can't remember last time I walked into HMV and was looking for vinyl. I think they had Around the World in a Day because it was on special offer, and that was it.
They had one vinyl in HMV, my local HMV, and that's Purple Rain. But I mean, they had more vinyl in a park, in a record shop in a park that I went to this week, in a place called Beckenham Place Park. And some guy was running a vinyl shop in this looking like church-looking building, and he had Around the World in a Day, and he had Get Off 12-inch.
So you've got Madhouse available on Apple Music.
Yeah.
If Apple Music can sell Madhouse 8 and Madhouse 16, how can Sony not have that product available to buy physically?
That's just so strange, isn't it?
As you say, there's inconsistencies throughout all of this, whether it be T-shirts and custom charges, whether it be 3.5 months to actually get the product to the buyer after they've taken your money, or whether it be the fact that they've got no idea of what they're doing in terms of a release schedule, or got no idea in terms of what's in the vault and what they should be releasing, because that's what the fans want. We are in uncharted territory, as I mentioned at the beginning with this.
We were saying with Questlove, weren't we? We were saying with Questlove that they're doing this sort of official symphony tour. He's going to travel across America doing a Prince symphony, and they said he's bringing. Shall we go to Minneapolis?
No. Prince for me,
I mean, they're not doing one in Minneapolis apparently. Which
we'll miss Minneapolis. That's not important.
No,
but it's like the T-shirt, as you say, 3 months later. But by then, the emotion of the moment, I think it's gone. You get a T-shirt 3 months down the line, and then you've got to pay customs for it, and it's totally killed it. The reason why you wanted it, and it's just great. It's a real slap in the face. Like
you won't get yours till next week, will you, Ant?
Probably not. Well, I see I ever get it. That's like poor Jay.
Jay, just on the T-shirt debacle, you bought the vinyl as well. Have you seen anything about it?
I've seen nothing at the moment. It's lost in space. So I actually gave up. This says it. This is says it all. I actually gave up and just bought the cancelled the thing. Bought the black vinyl, just a pure black vinyl from Amazon. I ordered it. I had it within 12 hours in my front door.
Wow. Amazing.
For £8.
Wow. Did you get your money back though for the other one?
Yeah.
You did. Oh, good.
It's just at that point where you think,
it's a mess.
Why can't there's no reason, there's no mystery to this. Just sending out products. You can get retail advice. I'm just scared at the rate these things are coming out because, quite frankly, we need a seismic change.
Because you're right. I mean, what you said about nothing compares. I got it here. Same thing when it was released, wasn't it? You managed to get a copy, Graham, didn't you, from your HMV?
One copy was sent to my local HMV.
One copy. My local HMV, which is a fairly big one, had nothing. And the guy said, "You must be joking. Try online. Look online. It's all sold out." And then Jay comes to my rescue, and the next day it's on my doorstep. Jay orders it and gets it for me, and it's next.
Missing the opportunity to grasp and seize the moment is just staggering.
I know I've said this, but like I say, this really is genuinely, I think, a positive thing. This is a way that they can engage and we can actually have a great symbiotic relationship, because ultimately we have this relationship. The companies need us, and we want the companies to release certain products, but the companies need this hardcore base. And I just think I really want it to be a kind of positive thing where everybody benefits. They sell the product, we get the product. Everything gets out there.
Absolutely.
We don't know better than you if you're listening, but we would like to be involved.
Yes. Well, we know better than you when it comes to Prince's career.
we know what the fans want, and we know what they seem obsessed by 1984.
They do.
That era.
Yeah.
And the Purple Rain Deluxe was a bit of a debacle. Let's be brutally honest about it. It was a bit of a mess. And what we ended up with was not what we really wanted.
I think they had an opportunity there to make a genuinely big package. Let's put in a poster at the time. Let's put in, let's put in, like say, more live performance. There are lots of live performances, and yet they only
more than that same old tour. The same one we've seen. Okay, it's good to have it on DVD, but it's not even.
Don't even incorporate the birds. Yeah, exactly.
Time Apollonia.
Yes.
Des
Why can't I have the Apollonia? Yeah, a single with the singles on. Des Dickerson, as you say. Yeah, yeah.
And have Jill Jones outtakes and have those things. There's so much you could do with that era.
Yeah.
You could supply it, like you say, with lots of different things. You could supply it with a bit of merchandise. You could supply a package. You think, do you know what? If I'm a Prince fan, even though I've got Purple Rain, even though I've got the video, I've got the thing. This I want this package. This has got a cool T-shirt, a poster, a thing of the time, whatever, a keychain. It's got the whole thing. This is great. I want this, but.
We touched on this, didn't we, last time on the Batman thing when we said, do you think next year, it's an anniversary? And Graham said, no way, they're too short-sighted. And this is exactly what's going to happen. Every year that goes past, there's another anniversary now of a classic album, and it gets missed. It's gone. I've forgotten about, And
I think it's even more complicated because, like you said, the deals they have in place, the movie albums are treated differently with Purple Rain and Community Bridge, and that becomes more complicated. And they really do need to get together in a room and say, look, we all want to make money at this. None of us is going to win at this rate. What we need to do is just have, a clear vision. We'll all get paid our cut when they sell the product, but we have one focal place. We'll buy the product. Everything's there. We'll have a plan, and we'll all get our cut. Because at the moment, they're going to have a big share of very little, whereas they could have, a decent share of a much bigger thing.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And if you look behind you, Jay, on the wall, you've got the Let It Go image, which is 20 years old today.
Wow.
Really?
Wow. Happy birthday, Let It Go.
Happy birthday to Let It Go.
I got that from a very amazing guy. A very amazing guy. He just turned up my doorstep. He said, "Have you? I'm collecting for my, some money for myself." And I said, "All right, come in." And no, it was one of the sweetest things. And that is just pride of place. I mean, do you know what? That's actually a good example because that's probably on eBay. I don't know, probably substantial. And the fact that this is about the purple community though. What Graham did there signifies the best of it because I've seen that from I know things Graham's done, and he won't talk about the generous acts he's done and the acts you've done.
Just mention though, we've Let It Go before Graham gets annihilated by the dog.
Can you hear the dog barking?
I can hear the dog barking. Yeah.
Yes, the postman delivering my T-shirt. It's the tax man.
Jamie didn't rip the T-shirt up, but there you go.
It's the customs guy.
It's the customs man. You ain't paid enough. just talking about the Let It Go thing. As Prince, getting direct to the fans, like we're talking about the community. It says in the song, innit? Now I've got a number, and we're 3 million strong. Yeah.
Very nice.
I think that's the thing. I think that's the key thing that there's such a community. I when you go to a new Prince event, we went to the NPG and you see the Purple Army. You walk in there and the whole place we met up was full of purple people, and they're all there. They help each other out. There's so many kind acts people do, and there's a lot of stuff that people do for charity that, quite frankly, they don't talk about, which I think is very much tribute to them. And I think Prince was like that too. And I won't embarrass people, but I know there's people who've done really generous things, and I think that's and also with the music, the amount I've learned from other people, and kind of I got into Prince simply because somebody who was my mum had a driving instructor, and he had a friend who was into Prince, had everything. Now I didn't know anything about Prince, and I listened to a song. I thought, yeah, they're fantastic. He after Batman, he gave me the tapes. Now I bought everything since, but he gave me the kind of copy tapes all in one go. And because of the generosity of somebody getting me into Prince, that started a lifelong thing where I bought so much of Prince. So I just need someone to introduce people into Prince, and who's going to do that? Because if you're kind of in your 20s, 30s, and you're not going to know what all it's about. The only time you see Prince in the news is his family or the estate, or there's some copyright issue. Let's just get all the music out there, and it takes one song and you're hooked.
Exactly.
Well, look how much work we put together. I'm not trying to make us sound like we're. This is not an ulterior motive here, but we read that Hamish Twitter book.
Yeah. And
you've got it behind you, Ant. The Essential 50 bootlegs, which I highly recommend. It's a really, really brilliant read, and you'll learn some really good things about some of the bootlegs that are out there.
Yeah.
So we thought, you know what? Let's use our knowledge and pull together those bootlegs so that the community out there can listen to some of those recordings. That's the sort of thing the estate could have done.
Absolutely. You've done it for them,
You done it for them.
You put it all together. And again, a lovely touch in it was all, all for charity as well. So
did it all for charity, yeah.
I just hope that I think, like I say, I just hope that some of this. I think Graham might be right. I hope he isn't. That he said about maybe they're just going to carry on and it's not really going to be. But it's a missed opportunity for them. And that's the wound. We care about obviously the legacy, but it's also a missed opportunity. If you just say I'm a pure businessman and I only care about money, it's still bad business. You want to engage the people who buy your product. There are people who do Twitter accounts and other companies who spend a fortune paying people to try and engage with the community, send tweets out there, Facebook, to engage people, to get people interested.
That's right. Absolutely, yes.
And Sony
we're doing it for free in our
We're
own
doing
time.
it for free, exactly, from our living rooms.
And so Sony are basically saying, don't talk about a product, keep away from a product, please don't get involved in the product.
And just to touch on copyright as well, I actually won a battle for the estate. I haven't even realised it. There was that one of my videos, someone tried to copyright
yes, I remember.
Prince being interviewed by what was it, CNN, wasn't it, Larry King, wasn't it? Larry King, yeah. And suddenly I get this copyright claim on my video. What's this all about? Some guy, I can't remember the guy's name now, he's a rap artist, I'd never heard of him, but anyway, after linking to his thing and looking at it, and he'd sampled it and in his track and was trying to claim it as his property.
Wow.
And I actually won the battle. I won the copyright fight, and he backed down. And so I won one for Paisley Park there and for the estate.
Well done.
I don't know, this bloke, people are out there doing that, using a part of an interview, Prince talking and saying, "Oh, that's mine. I own that."
All I'd say is if you do, if in terms of bootlegs, at the moment, the official site, the YouTube official Prince channel has about 20 bootleg albums on there. So I mean,
that can't be right. Something's going on there.
Something's going wrong. I don't know if
someone's done it to it, isn't it? It's a hack.
Someone's hit the wrong button, haven't they?
I'm sure it's a hack of some sort.
It must be. You click on playlists and you've got Small Club.
I know.
I don't know. Like I say, it might just be something.
Rock in Rio.
I think someone like us, and it's not us, but somebody like us who feels like that has said, right, sod you, I'm putting it all on your official site so everyone can see.
And these companies,
if you're listening to this video, go and find the Small Club, because that is a piece of genius. The guitar work is off the scale on that.
Yeah. People without, man. People without.
Who's the fool singing still with down the time?
Yeah. And I've given you enough opportunities to get it right. You keep saying it.
All I'd say is if you want to see it on the official channel playlist, I'd probably get in the
do it now. Do it now before I take it down.
After this goes out, it'll probably be taken down completely. Everything.
Well, we get copyrighted left, right, and centre now. A T-shirt, copyright. Sorry, the time, copyright.
I've actually copyrighted. You've actually going to get a copyright action against Graham's tattoo. I think that's.
Yeah. You won't be able to do that anymore.
I'm going to get PRN on that wrist.
You're not allowed that.
And can you tell us what we've got coming up next?
What we got coming up next? Well, it's supposed to be the review of the MPG gig at the. At the Indigo too, yeah. And with Jay only having 90 minutes sleep last night, let's just do it now, shall we?
Are we going to review any more? Are we going to review any more albums going forward? What have we got in the pipeline?
Well, we talked about Lotus Flower, haven't we? There's a possibility of that coming soon. We're going to do everything, everything.
Yeah.
There's, every album, maybe live performance, singles, 12 inches, anything with, whatever. We're just going to go for it. Man.
I'm trying to put together.
You can't stop us.
No, you can't stop us. You will not stop the MPG trio.
Nothing can stop.
Generation after generation.
You can't stop this feeling I've got.
You cannot. Here, edit.
We are the new power generation.
Trio.
Release it.
Release
it's a question of you.
It's a
Oh God, that's 4 copyright strikes.
Yeah. I really
it just goes round and round, doesn't it?
Round. Oh my God, the joy in repetition. Oh dear.
God.
I'm going to leave this in now. Just I'm not going to edit this out. It's not going to be an outtake,
Yeah, you always say that, but you always hit and run anyway. So.
I always hit and run.
Oh!
I got one.
He got one in there. Well done, Joe. Oh dear. Well, I think you can't really follow that, can you?
On that note,
we are going to review. Yeah, I don't know what's coming next, but we were going to talk about the MPG gig, and the reason why is because coming away from it, we all had the same feeling, which is really interesting. Because I will just say this before we go: after the gig finished, we didn't have time to talk and chat about our experience, did we? Because we all had to go our separate ways and get home and what have you. And
I didn't go that separately from Graham, but
you didn't go that separately.
I still didn't talk to him. You know,
they had a chance, but I had a chance to. I had a chance to reflect about it all on the way home, and I'd sent a message how I felt about it, and then in the morning I get the same message basically coming back at me. I was thinking, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So we'd like to talk about that. Obviously, the NPG were flawless. You know, brilliant band still and great performance. But I mean, you know, it'd be interesting to do that review. I think, you know, we could talk about it now, but I think it'd be better to do another video and really go into that, because we'd be here for another, we'd be here for another 2 hours.
I need a beer.
Yeah, so do I. So I think on that note, we've had our rant.
And needs to make some more copyrighted videos.
Yes. I'm feverishly working on all these takedown videos, trying to get them back up for you guys.
It hasn't been taken down for several hours. So
no, I know it's a record. But this is the other thing I will say: if you keep seeing videos come back up, and you think, I've watched that, there's a reason.
Yeah, it's missing half the content.
It's missing half the content. It might be a gap or a silence, or 3-second video, but whatever. I won't let them stop me. I'll keep fighting and get them back up there.
It sounds weird because I think we're actually 3 really positive guys, generally speaking, and it's actually got to me. I found it quite sad that I had to kind of I held back for so long, and I felt because I really want to be about the positivity, but it's at that point where sometimes
you got to let it rip.
The quiet life it's not the right thing to do necessarily, but
yeah.
I am a very positive person, and my glass is always half full, but I don't want any of the bad experiences that's happened over the last couple of years to then leave resentment. When I listen to Prince, I don't want that resentment, and it won't ever happen for me because he means too much to me.
Yeah, and it's not his fault.
But there is a point where that resentment and bitterness could overflow into the music. When you listen to a song, all you're reminded of is of a crap T-shirt or a customs charge or a shitty release of a video that didn't do the performance justice. So. My final thoughts in true Jerry Springer style, and this is just me speaking, is listen to us, get it right, do him justice, and give the fans what they deserve, and give the new fans out there something to take with them and grow on this journey.
I think you're absolutely spot on. I think you're right. I think produced a great product, and do you know what? Get out of the way then. Like, make it as easy as possible to get the product. At the moment, there's so many obstacles and things in the way to get the product. What you need to do is make a great product, get out of the way, and quite frankly, people will rush to buy that product and buy that product. At the moment, we're putting up obstacle, we take down, we're like treating fans as if they're the problem. Well, no, you need to make a decent quality product. You need to get it out there. You need to support and engage us, and just realize the fans are not your enemy. If you've got a problem with bootleggers or eBay, take it up with eBay, because I notice you're not, and treat the fans, engage with those fans.
I can't better what you guys have just said. Exactly. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, well, I think we'll leave it there then. That's end of our rant. And we'll be back soon with that NPG gig review. Keeping it purple and positive.
Yes.
Positivity, y'all.
Positivity, y'all. See you next time.